Hello, Fat Grandma here. It is just after midnight and it is September 11th. Um, it does not seem like it's been 22 years since that day. And I just found a news article. They're still finding and still identifying the victims. Still, 22 years later. Not everyone has been identified, or the remains that they found. So there are still families out there who haven't gotten closure. I mean, they know, but they don't know. And it's kind of mind boggling that all these years later, there's still somebody getting a phone call, we've identified your family member. And I don't know. It feels like that was the last time that we all cared about each other, um, and that we were all thinking about something other than our own personal agendas, or who was of what political party, or who was against who and for what reason. And everybody just was focused on caring about each other and caring about the people that were there. And it seemed like almost everybody that I knew, and in my outer circle of friends, everybody that you talked to around that time knew someone, or was related to someone, or had a friend or a relative that was there in New York when it happened. I mean, it was this thing that brought us all together, and it was horrible, and it's awful that it took that for us to all feel like we could care about each other and put everything else aside. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. But it just so happened that my recording this video fell on the 11th, so I thought I would say something. Anyway, if you have not, that's not what this channel is for. If you have not been here before, my name is Paula. I have a very small eBay store. I occasionally sell on Poshmark. I did not have a Poshmark sale this past week. I did have Poshmark sales the past 3 weeks. I had one sale every week, but not this week. So that trend seems to have gone by the wayside. And, maybe it'll pick back up again next week. Who knows? I never count on Poshmark for anything. eBay sales were very slow. I did not know if I was going to have a video this week, because I recently decided that if I didn't have at least 8 sales, I wasn't going to do a video. And I had 7 sales this week, but I sold 8 items. So I figured I'd go ahead and it was barely by a hair, by a thread, that I was going to do this video. So I figured I'd go ahead and do one. I don't have any auction pickup footage for this. I had one item that I won at an auction this past week, and I recorded, but it wasn't worth sharing with you guys. And it was an item that I purchased for me, and it's for the business kind of, but I'll also be able to use it whenever I do end up moving. I can use it for laundry and or grocery shopping. It's a basket on wheels, and I'll stick a picture up here in the corner. It's pretty cool. I used to have one very similar to that one, and it folds flat, well, kind of flat. It's not completely flat, obviously, but it gets skinny and you can stick it in places, so it's easy to store. And I had one when I lived in the duplex that I had, that I rented. Let's see, when did I move out of there? I can't even remember, but it's been a few years. What I normally do is I share my solds for the past week, and then I will talk about other things. I had an issue with the post office. I think this is kind of a trend with everybody. Every few months you have a problem with them, and so I'll get into that, but I want to go through my sales first. So I will do that, and then I'll talk about the issue with the post office and some stuff that's going on here where I'm living. Uh, it's a never ending. I could, it'd be a really boring soap opera, but it could be a soap opera. Anyway, okay, my solds. The first item I sold, and it was actually two, it was two sets of vintage Lefton miniature green shamrock tea sets, and they were really cute. I sold the two tea sets for $20.78, and the shipping that they paid was $7.73. This is one of the items that I had an issue with the post office, but I'll talk about that later. The next item I sold, and I'm so glad, was another of the Boyd's Bears figurines. The one, if you've watched any of my past videos, you know that I bought 2 lots of Boyd's Bears things over a year ago. Now I only have 2 left to sell, so hopefully they'll be gone by Christmas. Anyway, this was Boyd's Bears and Friends Elijah and Joy Believe music box, and it played Silver Bells. And it sold for $6.80, and the shipping they paid was $9.88. I made my money back on them a long time ago. It's just taking forever for the rest of them to sell. So don't bother with the Boyd's Bears unless you just really love having them around and you want to look at them for a long time, because you will. The next item I sold, and I picked this up at an estate yard sale / whatever in Sun City several months back, was a Peeps red and black buffalo fabric. It was a plaid red and black. It was a Peeps chick, and it had the Peeps tag, the Peeps logo on the tag. It wasn't very big. It was like 4.5 inches, 5.5 inches. Anyway, I've had it listed for a very long time. Finally sold, though, and it sold for $11.32. I paid $1 for it, so a pretty good profit on that. The person paid $4.20 in shipping. Because I put it in a box, I didn't want to put this in a poly bag. If it was under $5, I would probably have stuck it in a poly bag, but because of the fact that it was over $10, I put it in a box. I didn't want it to get damaged, so it weighed a little bit more. The next item I sold was a fall theme leaves decorative wall trivets, and the name on them was Catherine Jones. I don't know who she is, but I saw the name on them, and so these have been listed. I had these on the wall in my kitchen in the 2 places that I lived, that I was renting previous to living here. And I just decided to get rid of all my kitchen stuff that I have access to, things that can go on walls and stuff like that. And so I sold them finally for $3.75. It really wasn't even worth selling them. The shipping that they paid was $9.88. These were heavy. They weren't very big, really, but they were quite heavy and very nice trivets, but they go on the wall. So, and you'll see pictures. The next item I sold was a pair of 2 Campbell's Soup mugs, and I've sold several of these if you've been watching my videos, different styles of these same mugs. These were the kids' soup and salad from 1989, and they sold for $8.29, and shipping was $8.07. Next item I sold was a snowman snowfall ceramic 3-inch deep cereal, soup, or candy bowl. It was made by Gibson. Anyway, the bowl sold for $5.49. It was very cute. I don't know, I don't even remember why I picked it up. It was probably at a thrift store, and I thought it was cute and I grabbed it, and it was probably 50 cents or a dollar at the most. Anyway, again, it sold for $5.49 and the shipping paid was $7.85. See the last item, again, not much this week, and everything was pretty low dollar. The last item I sold was three very small Day of the Dead lady figurines. And again, I'll put a picture up here. I picked these up at the 99-cent only store, and of course, nothing is 99. Well, some things are 99 cents, but most things are $1.29 or more. I think I spent $1.29 on each of these. I'm not positive, and I don't have the receipt. I looked for it, but I sold these for $12, and shipping was $7.85. So that is it for my sales. My average sold price, my ASP went way down this week, because normally, I'm going to pull numbers here while you guys are watching. If this is cut, you'll know why, because I don't want it to drag out for too long. But let me get to my seller hub, and let's see, performance, sales. I can put the dates in. My average sales price for the month of, or the dates from August 12th to September 11th is $25.59. So that's the average price per item. But this past week, it was really low. I'll put custom dates in here. Again, I may clip some of this, but yeah, my average sales price for this past week was $16.45. So that's the average per item. And that's before, that's not my net. That's not the net. That's the average sales price per item, I believe, from the total sales amount. So, yeah, my net sales this week, my total sales was $131.63, and my net was $21.21. It's down 90%. From the previous week. So, the previous week. So this was not a good week at all. And I don't even know how much of this was profit, but my selling costs were $102, and that includes the eBay fees and what I paid for shipping labels. So, I probably spent more on shipping materials and boxes than I made this week. There's weeks like this every once in a while, so it happens. And, I'm going to see what it was the week before. Yeah, see, my net sales was $147.65. So that's huge difference. Anyway, so yeah, sales weren't great this week, but, it happens. Hopefully it'll pick back up. I did spend some time this week going through and pulling some items from my store and relisting them as lots, to see if I can get rid of them. And if that doesn't happen, by the time it cools down, I'm going to be pulling a bunch of stuff from my store and taking it to the swap meet. Whatever doesn't sell at the swap meet is going to get donated. Some of this stuff, I'm just tired of looking at it. If it's something that I don't think it's going to sell at some point, it's going to disappear one way or the other. I think I've said that before, and I'm working toward that now. The weather here, okay, that's it for my solds. If that's what you came here for, there's nothing earth-shattering that I sold, no bolos, no look out for this, or nothing great happened this week. There was still activity, so that's always good, but not really worth it. Just enough to keep me a little bit busy, I guess. Anyway, the weather here, I'm in Phoenix, if you don't know. it was awful again this weekend. It was hovering right around 110, 115 in that ballpark from Friday through Sunday. It's supposed to cool down this week. And when I say cool down, I mean into the 90s, which isn't really cool, but it makes a huge difference for me. Um, the room I'm in has really no insulation. And so even with my air conditioner running nonstop, the temperature in here, if it gets up over or close to 110 outside, the temperature in here hits 91, 90, 91 degrees in the afternoon. And there's nothing I can do about it. My air conditioner is a very good unit, but it can't cool a room that isn't insulated. So there's just, and if you haven't been here for a while, there used to be a tree outside my room. It was huge. It shaded the entire room. It shaded the roof over the room. It was massive. And my mom had it cut down last year because part of it had died. She was afraid it was going to get hit by fireworks and start a fire, and the house would burn down, so the tree got cut down. And ever since the tree got cut down, this room has been like an oven. If there's a super sunny day, even in the wintertime, if I don't have the fans going in here and, maybe the window cracked open so that a breeze can kind of get some fresh air in here, it will still get warm in this room. So I miss the tree. If you have big trees around your house, keep them trimmed, take care of them, but don't cut them down if you need them for shade, because they do a lot more shade than you realize, and your electricity bill will show the difference when you cut them down. So hang on to your trees if you can. All right, the issue with the post office, and I'm going to be calling them today because I had 2 packages, and this was this past Tuesday. I always drop my packages at the post office on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Those are the days that I go, no matter what, and Monday was a holiday. So, and I don't go on Mondays when they're open because it's a nightmare. The line is always out the door. It's always busy. Mondays are horrible at the post office. So that's one of the reasons that Tuesday is one of my shipping days. And so I had to go on Tuesday because I had a bunch of packages, not a bunch, but I had quite a few that had built up over the weekend. And so I went to the one that I always go to. The line was clear to the door. I put as many packages as I could in the chute. Lots of the post offices have, if you already have your labels printed and everything's ready to go, there's a bin behind a wall, and there's a chute that you can put your packages in, and you close it, and the packages fall into a big cart that they have on the other side of the wall. And sometimes it'll get full, and then the door won't open or whatever. Anyway, I put some of my packages in the chute, but they wouldn't all fit. So I wasn't going to stand in this line because it was clear to the door, so I thought I'll go to the other post office because there's another one that's not too far from me. Went there. There was a line there too, but their chute, their bin thing had room in it, so I could put my other 2 packages in that bin. And so I put them in, closed the thing, everything was fine. I left. Those packages were never scanned. They never got scanned. They didn't scan them at that post office. And whenever the packages went down to the main hub down in downtown Phoenix, there's a big hub where all the mail goes, and it gets dispersed from there wherever it has to go. And it didn't get scanned. Neither of these packages got scanned. One of them was those Lefton Shamrock tea sets, the miniature tea sets, and the other package, I still don't know where it is or what's happened to it because it never got scanned. Trying to remember, it was some oil lamps, and I think I talked about those in my last video. I'll stick a picture up here. I don't know where they are. They never got scanned at the post office where I dropped them off. They didn't get scanned whenever they got to, I don't know where they are. I have no idea where they are. And I can't contact anybody to have them tracked or anything because, first of all, they're not in the system anywhere. All it's showing, I'll show you guys what it's showing. It's showing that the label was printed, pre-printed, whatever, but that's it. They have no record of it, that they ever got it. And I dropped both of those packages in that box at the same time, and it was around 3 o'clock on Tuesday last week. And there's still the first one, the T sets got scanned when it got to the post office in California, where it would go from that to being delivered. That's the first time they scanned that package. So I'm going to call and bitch at someone because, you know, your packages, all of our packages should be scanned when they are first dropped off. And you can say, I should have stood in line and got them scanned by a person. I shouldn't have to do that. I should not have to do that. They have the bin there for you to put your packages in. You know, if they weren't going to scan them and they're not going to do anything with them, they shouldn't have those bins there. It's like them offering for, you know, pickup, and then they don't scan the packages, and people say, well, you should just take them in yourself. We shouldn't have to. They offer that service, and it should be done like it's supposed to. They should scan the packages when they pick them up, and that's why I don't have my packages picked up anymore, because half the time they weren't scanning them. This post office, the second one that I went to where I took the other two packages and dropped them in the box, is the post office that's assigned for my neighborhood. I normally don't go there because it's a training post office and there's a huge turnover in staff, and the people just don't give a crap. They don't care, you know, about their job because no one is permanent there. They train there and then they leave and go to another post office. So they don't have to care. It's like when you're a substitute teacher, or if you're a temp worker and you work at a job for 2 days or 3 days or whatever, you're not going to care as much about the quality of your work as you would if that is your full-time job and you're going to have to answer to someone a few days later after you haven't done something that you were supposed to do for your job, you know. Anyway, so that is my issue with the post office this week. So frustrating. I hope that these oil lamps show up at some point. I can't prove that they were shipped. I have nothing, you know. And again, I shouldn't have to stand in a line and drop them off, and they should be scanned when the workers pull them from that box, you know, period. Or at least when they get down to the main hub. They didn't even scan them there. They were never scanned. And I don't understand. I don't understand how, I don't know, maybe they are so inundated now because they're doing ground advantage. More people are shipping with the post office, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they're just getting busier or they're short-staffed or something, but they're not scanning all the packages. And I have proof because they did not scan one of the boxes that actually showed up at the customer. And the only reason I even knew they got it is because they left me feedback. And they said that the sets were really nice, and I was grateful for the feedback because I've been hawking those two shipments to see if anything was going to show up on the tracking, and I hadn't checked. I think it was yesterday. I got, I noticed that I had another feedback, and I looked, and it was for those Lefton T sets, and so I looked at the tracking, and sure enough, it showed pre-shipment, label printed, or whatever it says, and then all of a sudden it was in San Diego. There was no scanning in between me printing the label and this box traveling all the way to California, you know. So very frustrating. Very frustrating. Somebody needs to do their job, better, or whatever. I don't know who's supposed to be in charge of getting the packages scanned, but they're not doing what they're supposed to, at least not in Phoenix. Anyway, that is it with the post office. So that's what's going on. And I don't know. I think I'm just not going to drop packages off at the post office that is, the training one, because this isn't the first time that stuff has gotten screwed up with that post office. And again, the workers, are male people. Most of them are trainees. We have our regular guy, but he only works 3 or 4 days a week, and his schedule changes every week. So we don't know when he's going to be working. If he's working, I know my packages will get picked up and I know they'll get scanned. But I never know when he's going to be working, so I can't risk it. I'm just going to continue to drive to the one that's a little bit further away, because I know I can drop those in the chute and they will get scanned, and I don't have to sit wondering for almost a week where the hell my packages went, or what happened to them. And I said that was it for the post office, and then I kept talking about it. So it's very frustrating. The other thing that's been going on it's been going on longer than a week, but I haven't talked about it. Um, because the summer was so horrible, the electric bill went up in August, and by like $80. It was like $80 more than it. I mean, it's already a horrible amount. It's over $600 a month during the hottest part of the summer for this house. And the room that I live in, again, does not have any insulation, and I pay $120 a month for my electric. And I've been questioned as to whether or not I'm paying enough, for the electricity, for my share. And so I found this in my storage stuff, and I bought this when I was living in the basement at my daughter's house so that I could see how much power my portable AC unit was using there. It was a different portable unit. The one that I have now covers more square feet. It's newer. I just bought it. It's brand new. And so I knew that it was energy efficient. And I've been paying $120 a month, even in the months when I don't have the AC running at all. December, November, January, February, all the months when it's nice out and I don't need the air conditioner in here, I'm still paying $120 a month. And it's supposed to level it out so that I don't have to pay a lot more during the summer when the bill might be higher. Anyway, I plugged this thing in and left it plugged in for 24 hours with my air conditioner and my ice maker and my oscillating fan being read, the utilities, the kilowatts being used for those three things. My AC ran nonstop because it was so hot this weekend. And I did the math according to the highest rate that SRP charges during the summertime, and which it fluctuates. They don't always charge that amount, but I just did the math with it at that rate, because depending on the time of day, it's lower than that amount. And it's only that super high amount for July and August. The other months it goes down a few cents, and then in the winter time it's almost half, and per kilowatt the price. Anyway, so I did it at 14 cents per kilowatt, and it's actually like 13.6 or something that they charge. I did it at 14 cents per kilowatt. It should be and I'm at the max. I figured everything maxed out with my air conditioner, the oscillating fan, my ice maker that I run twice a day because I make ice in the morning and I make ice again at night for my water. My lamp back here, my modem that I use for my internet, and my computer and my monitors. Everything all together, added up, my maximum amount, and this is at the peak rate, is $158 a month. Now, that should only be for those 2 months where it's insanely hot. So close to 160. Now, mind you, I'm paying 120 all the other months. Also, I'm paying 120 those months. So I know I'm paying enough. But again, it's been questioned. So I had to do all of this so that I can show her that I'm paying enough to cover what I'm using, and I will probably end up paying more because I don't want to hear about it. Um, so and I so I'm paying $120 a month or 160, whatever, if I make it less during the winter months and spend more during the summer for it to live in 91-degree temperature in here. I've got to, hoping, fingers are crossed, something has to open up somewhere in one of these 58 or 55 plus sliding scale, low income communities. They're all booked, and I'm on waiting lists everywhere. So it's just gonna take time until I can get in somewhere. But anyway, so that's what's going on the home front. Um, there's also been a lot of television watching going on out there, and propaganda watching, and then she's yelling and screaming about things and saying very racist things that I catch when I happen to go out to go to the bathroom. What I'm like, I don't even want to hear this. The negativity is what bothers me. It's just, and it's not even the words that are coming, because the words that are coming out of the mouth are questionable at the least. Um, it's the tone, and it's awful. I mean, it's just hateful, very hateful, and you feel it. It makes you, I don't know how else to describe. You guys are probably, what is she talking about? I'm not crazy. Well, I mean, I am a little bit maybe, but no more than anybody else, I think. But I've always been kind of a person, the kind of person that kind of feels what's going on around me more than maybe other people do. And when I've had job interviews, I could walk into a place and know as soon as I walked inside if I even wanted the job or not, just from the way I felt. And if I didn't feel right about it, and I got offered the job and took it, I wouldn't stay long. It would turn out badly. I knew it wasn't going to be most of the time what would happen if I had that bad feeling when I walked in, I would just epically fail at the interview because I didn't want the job. I didn't want to just turn around and leave, but I also didn't want them to offer me the job because I did not want to work there. Um, I pick up on things, and too sensitive, whatever you want to call it. I've had a couple people message me outside of YouTube on Facebook, and they know, and there's a name for it. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but you know, I've always had this, and it's made me extra sensitive to other people's emotions and things that are going on around me. And yeah, I need peaceful and tranquil surroundings, or at least sometimes, so I need to move. So that's the number one thing on the wish list. I don't know when it's going to happen, but anyway, I do have some stuff that I'm going to pick up at. I may have to cut this video down. So if you guys have noticed, again, if you notice any choppiness, it's because I cut out some stuff. Maybe I was talking too long about something or shared too much or whatever. I have some auction stuff I'm picking up tomorrow, and it's the auction house that I don't like to go to anymore. But the two that I normally like to go to, one of them they're moving to another office in the same building, but they're moving to another location, so they didn't have an auction this week. and this past week, and the other one that I normally go to, I only got one item, and I'm not driving all the way over there to pick up one thing. So I called them, and they're going to hold it till next week, and hopefully I'll win a couple of other things in the next auction, and I can just go pick up everything at the same time. But anyway, I think that's it for this video. I'm hoping that the change in weather, I'll be able to take the foam board off of my wall soon, and I will be able to do my recordings during the day when I can use some sunlight and natural light. So maybe the videos will be a little bit better. No promises, because I don't know how long it's going to be until I can take the foam board down. It's got to be under 100 degrees outside for me to be able to do that and not have my AC running nonstop. So we'll see what happens. But thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.